people need to wake up. Just because he's the wealthiest man in the world and very powerful and has the ear of the President of the United States doesn't mean he is beyond reproach.
Well, we are now joined by Sir Ed Davey, who is live from the Liberal Democrat conference in Bournemouth. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I should ask you first off, are you being sued by Elon Musk?
I don't know, to be honest. There's been a rumour going around. If he does, I'm not worried about that, frankly. What I'm worried about is stopping him and his company breaking the law. If you look at what's going on the X platform, since he took over, he got rid of all the people who were protecting our children. And with the Online Safety Act, it's clear there's lots of breaches of that. There are adverts for videos of child sexual abuse, grooming, self-harm, all of which breach the law that Parliament's passed, and I hope Ofcom and the various bodies go after him, because it's clear he and his company are breaking the law. Is
the fact that there are no sanctions as yet on Elon Musk an admission, really, that the trying to create rules to govern social media is an impossible task?
Oh, listen, I'm sure the Online Safety Act isn't perfect. I've been worried about one or two of the ways things have been implemented, but these are clear breaches. And to be honest, I think they were probably breaches for the old law. We do have to improve the way we enforce the law online. Surely no one can think it's right that a platform should allow adverts of videos of paedophiles to be promoted.
Separate to that, you've accused Elon Musk of inciting violence with his remarks around uncontrolled migration, and essentially when he said whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you, you either fight back or die. Are you suggesting he ought to be arrested if he comes to the UK?
Well, I'm suggested mainly about the breaches of law with respect to his platform X. But I have to say, what he's been saying over a number of months or even years now should deeply trouble people who care about our democracy. He said a little while ago that civil war in the UK was inevitable. He's called for the overthrow of a democratically elected government in the UK. He said those words, which are pretty incendiary, to a large number of people in central London. Guess what happened? 26 police officers were hurt, 4 seriously. This is a man who I think people need to wake up. Just because he's the wealthiest man in the world and very powerful and has the ear of the President of the United States doesn't mean he is beyond reproach.
Should he be arrested for inciting violence?
If he comes to this country, he may well have to face charges, but that's for the police and others to determine. It's not for me. But what I can point out are the things where it looks like he's breaking the law, which I've done.
You're talking today about limiting children to 2 hours of social media a day by law, but obviously we've just talked about the fact that the law can't deal with some very, very, violent and worrying things that are happening online right now. Is this realistic in any way?
I think it is. I think there is a real worry about the impact on the health of our children, young people from social media. I'm really pleased when I was a kid I didn't have it. But if you talk to experts, health experts, people in schools, head teachers, I talk to them in my constituency, they are deeply alarmed by the impact on the well-being and health and the way children are growing up by social media. We have to have a debate. There's been some debate, but I don't think there's been anywhere near enough serious action. This is one proposal amongst many that we're putting forward to try to make sure the protection of our children, their health and their mental well-being is at the forefront. I don't think there's anything more important than that.
If it's so awful, why do you spend so much of your time on social media? Isn't that a bit hypocritical?
No, well, you'll be really surprised to know I have a few people who help me. I'm not there the whole time.
No, but it's a serious question. It's a serious question. I raise it as a serious point. You make a lot of videos, and they are attractive to young people.
Yeah.
You pump them out all the time. Is it a bit hypocritical?
Hold on. No, I don't think so. No one's saying that social media should be closed down. It has some benefits. Of course it has some benefits. We have to communicate with each other, and technology moves on and media moves on. And I support that. The question is, where do you see harm, and can you reduce and mitigate any harm from new technologies? Let's give me another example. I like a glass of wine, right? I like a glass of wine, and I don't know whether you do or not. But there's right on my bottle of wine, there's a health warning. And that's that's the sorts of thing we're saying here. It's to make sure that people have the information. In this case, young people have the information. And I think what we need in the online world is to wake up and look at some of the ways we've dealt with harm and problems for people in the real world, the physical world. And I think we're behind the times at the moment, and we need to catch up and catch quickly, because when it comes to the health and well-being of our children, we really need to move far more quickly than we're doing.
Yeah, we are a bit limited on time. I have to ask you a couple more questions. One of them is you've mentioned the real world there. If you want to limit doom scrolling and curb social media, should phones be banned in the Commons chamber? Lots and lots of MPs doom scroll all the way through debates. Should we ban them?
Well, that will be up to Mr. Speaker and a discussion in the House of Commons. I'm careful because I'm not sure if I've been seen on camera scrolling. Occasionally I use my phone in the chamber. Listen, I'm not against people using phones. I'm not against social media. Let's please not get the wrong end of the stick here. Well, just like I'm not against alcohol, that would be hypocritical of me at the Liberal Democrat Conference having a nice glass of wine. What I think, though, is when there is evidence, and there's clear evidence here, that harm is being caused, particularly to our children, surely lawmakers and policy experts and the media need to think about how we manage that.
We're talking a lot about immigration on the programme today. Reform is proposing scrapping indefinite leave to remain. I'm really interested. You as a party have moved your policy on immigration. You've moved the language you're using. You're now saying we should stop the boats. Originally, when other parties used that language, you opposed it. Why the shift?
Well, I'm afraid we've been saying we should stop the boats for a long time, and we've been saying we should close the asylum hotels for a long time. We said it at the election. So I'm not sure if the shift's there. The question is, and where we differ from reform, is we want to do it in ways that will work and which also recognises that there are human beings involved, and we should treat people with humanity.
Some people would really like to see your party be more pro-immigration. Some people say, we've got a lot of parties that are saying we need to get rid of people, we need to shut down these routes. They'd like to see somebody who was saying, actually, these people bring a lot of benefits to the country, and maybe that could be your party.
Well, we've always said that we should see the huge benefits that immigration has brought to our country over many decades. But what we're talking about here with the small boats is illegal immigration. And we've always, surprisingly enough, been against illegal immigration. I think the question that people ask, and I hope you'll ask this to people who are coming on after me, is why the small boats have become such an issue. They've become such an issue after we left the European Union. Prior to Brexit, we had 27 return agreements where people could be returned automatically, legally and fairly and humanely to 27 other European countries. But because of Boris Johnson and the Conservatives and people like Nigel Farage, who campaigned for Brexit, those returns agreements which we had, which were working, have been torn up. Then the small boats problem really took off, and it's created some real difficulties. And isn't it quite hypocritical of the Conservatives and Nigel Farage to point to the problems that they caused? I hope you and others in the media will call them out.
Ed Davey, many thanks for joining us this morning. Great to have you on the programme.